Hey everybody, now we are going to talk about one more layer of our dear darling math. So, the first thing we need to know is number sense that we already saw in the other video. And then we talked about this first layer over here, that is addition and subtraction. Nowadays, we are at this layer over here, okay? We are talking about multiplication and division. Division is gonna be a conversation for Friday and for the next 2-3 weeks. Today we are gonna focus on multiplication talk. What you need to know is that it's just imagine that you are digging a hole on the floor and you are digging further and further and further and further. Okay, so the further we dig, the deeper we go, the more knowledge we have, but we can't forget what was before. Okay, so we are done with this layer, we are done with this layer. We are going to start talking about this layer over here. When I talk about multiplication and division, just like I was talking about addition and subtraction, I am increasing or decreasing my quantity, my value. But what you need to understand is that now we are not talking about unities anymore. We are talking about groups. And this conversation about groups is a little bit more complex than talking about unities, right? When I am talking about unities, I'm talking about a bowl where I put more apple or I take from the apples that I already have. This is a simple conversation. When I am talking about groups, the conversation gets a little bit more complex, okay? Because I am talking about two different views, two different perspectives. I need to think about how many groups I have and how much I have inside each group. So what I need to think when I talk about multiplication is I need to think in two different perspectives. I need to think about how many groups and I need to think how many inside the group. You also need to remember that the groups, they are never going to be different. If I have 5 groups, the 5 groups have the same quantity. If I have 3 groups, the 3 groups, they have the same quantity. So in truth, when I talk about multiplication and even division, I am not talking about more apples inside the bowl. My total is never going to change. What is going to change is how this total is organized in groups. So my total is 1,000. The 1,000 is never going to change. I am never going to add anything in the 1,000. What is going to change is how many groups I am going to make and how much I am going to have inside each group. I can make 2 groups of 500. Oops. 2 groups of 500 is 1,000. I can make 10 groups of 100. I changed the number of groups. I changed how many I have inside each group, but I didn't change the 1,000. I didn't change how many apples I have inside the bowl. Okay? I can have even more possibilities. I can have 50 groups and inside each group I have 20. I can have the opposite. I can have 500 groups with 2 inside each group. The total is never going to change. I am not adding anything. I am changing the number of groups and I am changing how much I have inside the group. But in truth, I am simply reorganizing this total. And this is the difference between subtraction and addition to multiplication and division. While in subtraction and addition, I put or I take. In multiplication and division, the key word is organization. I am simply organizing my total in different number of groups and different number inside each group. Okay? This is very important to have clarified in our minds. We always think that multiplication puts more things inside. No, I have the same total. I am just changing the number of groups and what is inside each group. Multiplication and division is about groups and how I organize the total in groups. Okay? So, what we are going to do now is we are going to revise the 4 multiplication strategies that we saw, and we are going to see how the expanded form appears in each one of them. Okay? So watch the next video to revise the multiplication strategies.